Welcome back to Minnesota Fishing Brothers, and welcome to a new series on the channel. This will be called Tackle Talk. This will basically be when I take some time to talk about tackle we have and how we use it, different baits and how we use them, different techniques and how we use them, and just the little details that make using something a lot better and how to use stuff. I hope we can all be civil about this. I know in the past people have kind of gotten a little bit cranky when we've suggested, doing certain things. So I hope we can keep this all civil. I'm not an expert, but these are just some tips that I've learned along the way, along this long road of learning how to bass fish that we're all on. So I'm just going to get into a short little explanation on some of the frogs we use real quick. Okay, so for frogs, we have a couple different kinds. Our kind of bread and butter, we've used for a while, is this one. This is the Booyah Pad Crasher, well-known frog, fairly soft body. Hooks stick out of it pretty well, as you can see there. You do have to trim the skirt down a little bit. There's a big tip right there. Trim the skirt down on anything you want to, any frog, you want the skirt to be about 1.5 inches long. Otherwise, the bass will end up just biting the skirt and not the actual bait. This is a fairly inexpensive frog. It can be a little too soft and the hook points don't exactly go down into the, kind of bury into the bait. So there is a little bit of an issue with that, but for the most part, these are one of the best frogs out there. Just for the price and how they work. We've caught a lot of bass on this frog. They do make a popping frog version. So same exact frog, but as you can see there, it's a popping frog. This one, we use like poppers. So you know how you use a popper, you cast it to a location, you're targeting a very specific area with a popper. The very corner of a dock or somewhere you get bit a lot. This is kind of the same, except it's weedless. So I'd use it in places where I can't throw a cover pop because maybe there's emergent vegetation or something that I don't want to hook. So that's what I use a popping frog for. This is also really good, I've found, to target spaces in lily pads, which is a really good tip. If you see big, like not huge, but spaces in lily pads, maybe a couple feet, throw one of these into it and just pop, pop, pop across it, and you can really get some good bass. Also, the edges of lily pads, the edge of a lily pad area, you pop this next to it, and you can get some good bites with that. So that's the Pad Crasher popping frog. Same frog, just with a popping version. They also make different colors. This is a black version. Same concept. We like this. Our favorite color is just the OG. I think it's a like a tiger frog or something. I forget what they're called, but that's the OG, the one that we like the most. Obviously, they have a yellow one too, which works just fine. All right, so another frog we use, I call it a hybrid frog. I don't know what it's called. It's a frog by Mizuta. I'll try to link it below. Kind of the same concept. Just it has a popper up front, but it's pretty subtle, so you can kind of pop it, but you can also kind of walk it like a normal frog. These are a little bit cheaper and can be a little bit harder to hook up because they kind of have a tougher body, but they do work pretty well, and I kind of like that kind of hybrid action of popper and walking frog. So that's, I think, a Mizuta. Maybe I'm saying that wrong, but I'll link it below. Now, probably our favorite frog, this is the Spro, I believe, Bonsai frog. This is like a fire tiger pattern. And we just love these frogs. They're a little bit tougher of a body, but they just make a very, very good walking action. They're very light. They float well on the surface. They don't suck up too much water, and they have just the perfect amount of pressure right there to hold away weeds, but just crushes down when a big old bass grabs onto that. So that's the Spro Bonsai, which is Bonsai, I think it's something like that, which is probably our favorite frog out there. Super, super nice frogs, great action to them, just all around good walking frog. All right, and the final frog we use a little bit is the VMC Terminator Frog. It's a fairly large frog, and I've heard the smaller ones can be real good. I haven't got one yet, but I'm planning to. So at some point I'll probably make a video comparing frogs, but this is a fairly large frog, fairly large body, casts super well, super long. Again, had to trim the tails on it, but I haven't caught too many fish on this. It doesn't seem to get bit as much, but I tell you, I think my first fish on this was like a 4-pounder. So you definitely get the bigger bites on this. Definitely something to throw when the fish are a little bit more aggressive, overcast days, that kind of stuff. But a great frog nevertheless. Great, great body on it, crushes down nice. So you can get those 2 very nice hooks, very strong hooks, deeply set into a big fish. But I think that's all for the frogs. I hope you enjoyed this little series. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll have everything linked down in the description as well, along with our Instagram. So if you go follow that would be great. But other than that, please like, comment, subscribe, and we will catch you next time.